Welcome back. 2011 Toyota Sienna front wheel drive, 314,000 miles. I've known this car for a long time, good friend of mine. Just in the last month or so, it's got a little bit of a vibration at highway speeds, 70, 75, and also at 40, but not quite as noticeable, but I did drive it and noticed it at 40. It's all original suspension except for the wheel bearings. Both wheel bearings have been replaced. Everything else is original. Control arms, struts, tie rod ends, end links, everything. Pretty good. About 300 and some thousand miles before any issues at all. No play in the tie rod ends at all. I checked them already. We're going to replace some things on this. I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards CV axles for this, but I'm going to pull some stuff out of here and take a closer look. Bushings on the control arm front, they're a little beat up. 300,000 miles on them, but we're going to see if we can figure out what's causing this vibration. It's not terrible, but you can feel it. Let's see if we can get it straightened out. All right, so we're looking in the passenger side wheel well. Obviously, I have the wheel off. The first thing I noticed is it's got a leak. I don't think that's the CV axle on the boot leaking, but this engine doesn't leak. It's the first leak I've seen on this, and it's got over 300,000 miles on it. I'm not sure exactly what that leak is. I don't know if it is grease. It's coming out of that. I don't think so because I don't see it. Usually it'll spin it all over the place. I don't see it back here, or I just see it on the engine, front of the engine. And it looks like engine oil to me, more than anything. But I'm going to clean it real good. I'm going to make sure, and so you can see that. Hopefully you can see that bushing right there. Let me get in a little closer for you if I can. That's shaking you to death. And you see that wear and that kind of split, how it's dry rotted in the back. And it's split in the front. That doesn't look real good. I'm going to pull this control arm so I can get a better look at that. And we're going to see what's going on with that. It shouldn't be that hard to pull out, I hope. That bolt's easy. That bolt's easy. Yeah, that front one up here, not so much. It's buried under the motor mount. So, I think I'm going to have to block the motor up to get that undone. Pretty sure. That's not looking like a lot of fun to me, but we're going to do it so we can see what's going on with that. I think that control arm's bad after we clean this up. So, let me go clean that up and we'll come back. So we're going to take this shield off, two 10mm push-in pin here. Underneath the frame here, the two bolts that hold this part of this motor mount in, there's covers. I popped those little covers off. 17mm nut, zipped the nut off of that one, and the one in the back. I've got the engine blocked up. This car is up on jack stands, but the engine's blocked up and supported. I'm going to undo this motor mount, and I think I can unbolt it from the engine. There's one nut here as well, right up through here. That one's still attached. And then there's a couple that face in that bolt the bracket, the top of the motor mount bracket to the engine. I'll undo that. I should be able to pick this off of there and get it out of the way. With the engine supported, I believe. And we'll get at that control arm. That bushing is pretty beat in the back. It doesn't look good at all, but I want to get it out of there. We're going to pull it out. We'll break it loose. We'll break the control arm loose from the knuckle and get a really good look at it. There's one. Just 10mm bolts. I think I said that. I had to do that front push pin. It just fell out of there. Okay. Find my push pin so I don't lose it. Or my bolts. Alright, so now you get a better look. You can see this right here. I think I have to drive them up to get them out. But I've got it supported. I'm going to unbolt this. Looks like maybe 13mm. I'm going to unbolt it from the front of the engine. I think there's three. There's one down the bottom. You can't really see. It's kind of hiding from you. And there's two up top. Let's see if I can get all three of them. That bottom one's not going to be a lot of fun, I don't think. But And then we'll see how it goes. I gotta think I can just pop these out. Don't know though. We'll find out. All right, I've determined that I think I can get the top two pretty easily. I do have a wobble extension. The back one's a little tight to get to, but it's not bad. Unless I do that. I'm surprised that didn't roll right to the middle of the car. Yeah, it usually does. All right, let me get this one up in here. That's pretty tight. All right. Change gums. Surprised that did not. Well, I'm losing a lot because of that. Let me put a non-wobble extension and see if that'll do it. I'm losing a lot of torque because of that extension. Wouldn't expect the 13 to be enough that I couldn't get it. Come here. There's one. Pretty long bolt too. This one I don't know if I can get on with the gun in the position it's in without a wobble. It's a little let me get a short extension. Actually, maybe no extension for this side. I might be able to just reach in there with the gun. I'm over here. Yeah. Now it's tight. Tighter than I expected. Let me break that loose. And then we'll go from there. I broke it loose. Wasn't that tight, but small gun did not want to do it. And now it's loose. Now, there we go. All right. So I've got one bottom bolt in here. All right, I was able to get a flex head ratchet up from this side in there, just enough, and break it, lay underneath, get some leverage and break it loose. I did get it loose, so now I'm just gonna go and don't trap you don't have a lot of room. Don't trap your ratchet in there. So now I'm gonna switch to see if I can get a ratcheting wrench, which I can. Not a lot of room, but get that out of there. There we go. And there it is. Just a little bit of tough one to get off. Sure we're facing that way. Need to empty my tank. Got some moisture in the tank. Alright, there we go. It's just hung up on this top. This is hung up on the top of the mount. And I might have to get something in there to get that loose, but the bracket's off. It's just hung up on the mount. So I was able to get that whole thing out of there in one piece. It's still hung up on this. Should come off of that. I'll get it apart. I want to take a look under this thing and see. Really, it doesn't. I don't know how you would check these, right? It's not leaking. I think these are hydraulic. Nothing like that. But the big thing is right now, I can get at my bolt, my front bolt here, which is a monstrous bolt, by the way. That is big. 22 or 24 maybe. Let's see if we can break them loose and work on getting that control arm out. Up, 22. I actually guessed right. Usually it takes me 4 or 5 before I guess right. I just want to loosen them, make sure I can get them loose. Not any problem. That one's loose. Back one. I'll give Toyota one thing, at least they angle them. They're not straight up, making it hard to get them. You can stick a gun right in there and get them. This one's all the way out. They're big, pretty big bolt. Alright, I'm just going to screw that back in by hand just a little bit. I don't want it to go anywhere. Alright, there's the back one. Whoa! Knocking stuff all over. Here's the back one. I believe I have to hold that nut. Maybe 19 millimeter. I'm guessing. It's a guess. Just a guess. 19 millimeter. It's a good guess, but a guess. And the bottom, I don't know, 21 or 19 again. Beats me. I don't believe it's 22. I don't think it's quite that big. It's way smaller than that. It's 19 or it's, I think it's probably 19. Let me get that. I don't believe it's 17. It's too small. Yeah, too small. Go get a 19. See if I can do this without blocking you completely. Go on there. Come on. There we go. That's pretty much loose. The nuts backed off. So I've got to break the ball joint and a tie rod end, so I have some more play. Tie rod end's not hooked at all to the control arm, but it's going to hold this arm in place, the rotor and the strut and everything in place. And I'll probably undo the sway bar link as well. Let me back you up to here. Let's see. Try to get you some decent light. So I want to undo that. I want it as free as possible, so when I actually try to get this control arm out of there, it doesn't fight me too much. So this is probably 19 or 18. 18. That's why I brought an 18. I've been down this road before. Spinning it. You can feel it. Yeah, let me look behind and see if there's a something to get a hold of. My top of my list right now is a set of thin line wrenches, which makes this stuff easier. I'm guessing, yeah, 18. Here you go. There it is. Got that loose. Just set that out of the way. Get that nut right back on there so I don't have to worry about where it is. We're good. Tie rod end, I'm going to break that loose. Get the cotter pin out of it. And I'm guessing it's 17 or 19 millimeter. Get that out of there. You won't be able to see it. I'm just gonna unbolt it, pop it loose, and then I'll take you underneath and we'll do the ball joint. So looking at the bottom of the control arm here, there's 3 bolts. I'm not even gonna try to break the ball joint loose from the knuckle at this point. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna undo these 3 bolts right here, 17 millimeter. Take them apart. No point in breaking the ball joint loose. We don't have to. And my airline is underneath the camera, of course. And there goes my light. Man, oh man, killing me today. Just beat me to death. 3 bolts. Watch your face. This is going to want to move probably. I'm going to do this. I may have to get my other gun. There's 1. There's 2. I want to have that in there just a little bit. I don't want it popping up and hitting me. I'm leaning right over the whole knuckle, rotor, everything. I don't need it popping up with this force on this arm and hitting me. Come on. Just get that restarted. A couple threads there. So it won't kill me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Just giving me grief here. I'm going to turn my gun here. A little more clearance. There we go. Alright. And it did want to move. Make sure you keep yourself safe. Come on. Come off of there. There it is. Well, there's 2. Now, 2 nuts, and that one middle one is a bolt. Don't get real close to it when you undo it, because it might want to move on you, and you don't need it hitting you in the face. I'm just saying. That didn't move. Didn't really move much. Good. So now I'm just going to break this loose. Arm is loose, right? The whole knuckle is loose of it, which is all I wanted. Just leave that like that, and then I can undo the back of that control arm and take it, finish taking it out. All right, you're looking at the castle nut for the ball joint. I'm on the looped end, not the open end. I could not get, I have not been able to get it to move, so I just put a drill in there, and I drilled that and broke the, till it went through that loop and broke it. Be able to get a hold of it and get it out of there, but I'm just going to drill this out. I'll try to, at least. Might have to switch batteries here in a minute. What I'm going to do is get it far enough that I can drive it through a little bit. That's my goal. If I can get it to move on the other side, then I'm good. I get it in there, drilled out enough that it's in the actual stud, then it can't expand on me, really. It can't really get kind of expanded and jam up. I think that might have moved. Yes, it did, because I can get a hold of it. There's half of it right there. That's a good thing. I can get the other half out of there without having to break that axle loose. Yeah, it's just falling out of there now. It's just falling. There it is. I can just get a hold of it. Yep, there's the other half. So now I can break that ball joint loose. I did not want to have to break this axle. These axle nuts, yeah, they don't let go. But man, they tear the threads up sometimes, and I don't want to have to buy an axle for that. So let me see if I can get this broken loose. That's going to be a 17 or 19, I think. I can't get on there with that. There's no way I can get on there with that. I got to get on there with a wrench. And this ought to be fun too, because I don't have a lot to play with. Let me see if I can hit it with a hammer and get it moving. I got my jammed in there. But it looks like, yeah, it did move. Or is that my wrench moving? There's not enough clearance to get a wrench in there, or the box end. So I've got to kind of go at it a different way here. Of course, it's tearing it up a little bit, but these wrenches usually don't slip. Yeah, it's moving. It's moving. I think it moved. I think it moved. Yeah, it actually moved. I can tell that it turned. So, I'll be able to get it, which is a great thing. And there it goes. I'd really like to get a better angle at this. I'm right up in here. So I'm going to break this tie rod end. Back tie rod end, there's only one. I'm going to break the tie rod end loose so I can pivot this knuckle. And get a better angle at that ball joint. Let me go to my bigger one, or my wider one. Turn this again. And yes, I have had to stack these, get them out. Don't do that. Let me get a wire for that and hang it up so it doesn't do that again. It's not exactly cooperating. Oh, is it? Ah, there it goes. Alright, good. Not too bad. Now I have clearance to get this nut out of here. Just push down on it. It's bound up on me a little bit here. Alright, here we go. Alright, here it is. That was fun. So now, ball joint's loose. It really doesn't. one. Big bolt. Big thick bolt. There's two. Take my the back nut is just sitting on the top of that bolt. A couple threads. Take that off. Let me get this one out. Can I? I gotta wiggle the arm probably. Yep. There we go. Now, just got that one bolt in the back. It's holding it. I should be able to wiggle the arm and just tap on that. I think it'll come right out. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll try to move you in. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. Back in there. Yeah, right behind the boot. You can kind of see it, but not really. There's your light, right in my way. Of course. Barely touching it. Barely touching it. Careful when you do that, you don't damage that boot. You don't need that grief. All right, so I think if I wiggle this around, yeah, move the arm. There we go. Came right out. Arm is loose now. Just gotta wiggle it out of the back. Yeah, this control arm is completely shot. This bushing is just, it's done, basically. Ah, come on, let go. Come on out of here. There we go. Come on. There we go. I'm just going to put this so I can move it. Particularly right here. You see that? Hopefully you can see that. There's a big tear across here. See it? How this is separated over here, and it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be separated that far. It's separated on this side. Right there. Right up in this, I'm trying to not block the light. I'm blocking the light every time I move. Right in here. Yeah, hopefully you can see that. Pretty bad. Just wasted. But 300,000 miles, kind of expect that. Front one I don't expect to really see much because it doesn't take as much abuse. But you can see this, how it's really beat up here and dry rotted and cracked there. See it? See how bad that is? How it's just coming apart? That is probably part of the reason it's got to shake. That's pretty bad. It's really bad. It needs a new control arm. And I'm sure the other side looks the same at this miles. Just a lot of miles. One thing I didn't mention in the beginning is I did rotate the tires and had an alignment done on this because I thought the alignment had been done and it hadn't been, so I went and got it done. You got to do that first to make sure you don't have an imbalanced tire, something, or the alignment's out. When I couldn't really find anything else. Just checking, obvious. It didn't look great, but no play really. And you want to do that first and make sure that you don't have a bad, out of balance tire, a tire that has a bad cord or something causing an issue, or you're out of alignment and that can cause a problem. So I did that first, and we'll come back after I talk to my friend, and we'll probably do control arms and see what else he wants to do in here, and we'll go from there.